Baltimore, Maryland setting a new record with, as you can see right there, 343 murders last year, making it the most per capita in that city's history. And get this, some people there are now blaming the violence on a reduced police presence.
Maryland is a state of the United States of America, known for its crabs. This refers not to the ocean fare, but to the sexual disease, its exquisite crustaceans, its minuscule size, and the copious amount of snow it receives. The state is also associated with liberals, Mexicans, and people better than you. Geography. Maryland is approximately the size of a thimble, a remarkable feat, given that half of America's black population resides in Baltimore City, where people usually go to get shot in the face or eat crabs, or both. The state is divided into three parts: Baltimore, DC Metro, and everywhere else. The suburban and rural parts of Maryland are said to be quite nice in the summer, due to the fact that the state's roughly 7 million people have been packed into a coastal territory that could easily fit inside of most shopping malls. 99.9% of Marylanders own beachfront property. This makes for some awesome pool parties. Unfortunately, the charm of these areas is largely lost in the winter, when everywhere else is buried for 7 months under approximately 40 feet of snow. Similarly, the coastlines that seem so pleasant in July become deadly in November, when Maryland communities are routinely devastated by iced tsunamis. Until the state banned the death penalty in 2002, they're stupid Democrats. Remember, a favorite method of execution was to simply open the front door of the courthouse and kick the convicted offender outside without a jacket. Maryland's women have adapted to the state's Arctic wintertime temperatures by foregoing any form of shaving whatsoever from October to May. Ironically, 86% of Maryland's workers are employees of the federal government, despite the fact that each and every citizen of the state loathes President Bush and are cousins to President Obama. The conundrum raised by this incongruous reality is resolved when we remember that these workers in the state as a whole are in fact part of a massive clandestine secession plot. Residents of whites-only suburban areas around D.C. are almost all government workers, and some of the most boring Americans you'll meet. Fans of barbecues, picnics, and talking with their other cowardly neighbors, these people are afraid to do anything that might get them fired from their honorable government positions. History and region. Founded by persecuted Catholics who rape kids, the colony of Maryland was established to be a safe haven for Pope-worshipping refugees fleeing England to take their child fucking to the New World. Maryland is named after King Charles I's French whore Queen Henrietta Maria, who was ultimately responsible for getting the king wrecked by beheading and damning Maryland to become perpetually uninteresting. Maryland used to be part of the South, a loving member of the Dixie family. Then one day in 1861, the Yankees drove over to Maryland's house, slapped her in the face, and said, "Listen, bitch, you're part of the Northeast now." No, seriously, the reason Maryland didn't join the Confederacy is because Union troops got stationed there to prevent it from trying, and also DC didn't want be fucked by being surrounded by the enemy. Nowadays, Maryland likes to pretend that it was always a Northeast state. Maryland resident Shaquanda Brown, a history student at the University of Maryland College Park, which is where every young person in the state must go for higher education, said of the split, "It was long overdue. I mean, have you looked outside lately? There are snowdrifts up to the 10th floor. I don't know who we thought we were kidding." Maryland's regional confusion has been heightened by the fact that, while the state is clearly not southern, the Northeast still thinks that it's kind of clingy and complains that it smells funny. Even though Maryland desperately wishes to be a part of the Northeast, real Northeastern states from Connecticut to Maine, fuck New York, PA, NJ and D2, they're posers, they belong to the Rust Belt. Consider Maryland to be a self-hating southern state in denial because of its past and present cultural connections with the South. St. Mary's County, a tobacco farming county that still uses nigger, is a primary example of why Maryland will never truly be anything else than a fucked-confused southern state. DC metropolitan counties. Maryland's two parasitic counties, Montgomery and Prince George's, immediately border and leech off of Washington, D.C., the very town that jacked land from Maryland last Thursday like a common nigger. As a result of the D.C. gold rush for taxpayer dollars, the entire population of Maryland is jam-packed into these two counties, except Baltimore. The high-density population has spawned fuck tons of traffic second to Sarah Silverman's pussy, and as a consequence it has rendered seemingly important highways such as the 495 Capitol Beltway as useless as agenda studies graduate from Johns Hopkins. Montgomery County's population consists of filthy rich whites, insufferable yuppers, social justice faggots, and a shit ton of families whose careers are tied to a racket called the federal government. Aside from siphoning wealth from taxpayers' money, MOCO residents enjoy country clubs, pointless shopping, virtue signaling, and indulging in fist fucking, while tuned to C-SPAN. The county's two fake me-out towns include Silver Spring and Bethesda, which are nothing more than suburbia extensions of DC masked as cities. If a cancerous vibe is what one seeks, look no further than Bethesda, where grossly overpriced restaurants like Monami Gabby combines with affluent pretentious youngsters who suck each other off behind closed doors. Silver Spring, however, prides itself in the diversity of upper and middle class as well as a mix of chimps, chinks, spics who fetishes penguin fucking. Prince George's County boasts an extremely massive population of niggers, high crime rate, chicken shops, rubble, welfare, bus, and the University of Maryland. Since the quality of the Washington, D.C. neighborhood correlates with the county it borders with, it comes as no surprise that the blackest county in America borders the worst areas of D.C., including the crowded, crime-infested niggerdom known as an Anacostia, as well as other heaps of shambolic nigger/spick neighborhoods such as Deanwood and Congress Heights. Basically any part of D.C. touching PG County is shit. Due to gentrification tactics employed in DC by Congress, such as the closing down of chicken joints, liquor stores, and imposed rent prices that whites can afford, heaps of niggers have been migrating en masse out of DC and into PG County to the satisfaction of all civilized DC residents that enjoy not hearing blaring, incohesive jungle music and getting robbed. Liberals. Maryland is the second most liberal state in the country after Traitorland. Baltimore was to be renamed Caryville in the event of a Democratic victory in the 2004 presidential election. The four liberal counties recently re-elected Martin O'Malley as governor. O'Malley's major accomplishments include being in a band, sleeping with your girlfriend, raising the sales tax, and letting Baltimore Gas and Electric fuck its customers. Oh, and he recently passed a law that taxes the fucking rainwater that lands on people's property. Fucking serious. Mason-Dixon line. This is the obligatory reference to the Mason-Dixon line that, by law, must be mentioned in any piece about Maryland, despite the fact that the border no longer has any relevance at all as a cultural dividing point. The Baltimore riots. After police broke the neck of a black man who had been poisoning the state of Maryland with heroin while he was handcuffed in their custody, a chimp out broke loose in Baltimore. Businesses were broken into and looted, some even burned. Vehicles were smashed with anything they could get their hands on, and cops were pelted with rocks. What fine citizens they have over in Baltimore. I'm pretty sure they did nothing wrong. Right.